Good afternoon. We're right at the foot of True Hope Church of God in Christ. I need call and response. So welcome, welcome. Thank you all for being here. My name is LaShawn Walker. I'm the Director of Community Affairs for Lennar Urban. And this is a wonderful, wonderful occasion. And I just thank you so much for coming, particularly at such short notice. We welcome you. We thank you. And so I'm going to spend a few minutes with you before I turn it over to our illustrious mayor, who is to my left. I wanted to just take a minute to make some acknowledgments and then also say a couple of other words. So we have, all of you look so beautiful today, and we have some special guests in the house sitting right in front of me. I have Commissioner Kim Brandon, Commissioner Linda Richardson, CAC Chair Dr. Veronica Honeycutt, OCII Director Tiffany Bohe, and Dr. Aurelius Walker. I also have CAC Co-Chair coming in, Ms. Ollie Mixon. And where is Miss Ashley Ward from Sun Reporter? There she is, there she is, there she is. And I also see one of my speakers who's just come in, I think. Ah, there he is, there he is. Newly elected school board representative, Shaman Walton. So before I turn the microphone over to Mayor Lee, I just wanted to say for most of you I know who are in the audience that in addition to my work with Lennar Urban, I live here in this community, and so this is a great moment for me. I come from a mother who never left the house without a hat and gloves, and I come from a father who always had a perfect double pleat, 1.5-inch cuff with a medium break. And so if you know what I'm talking about, then I'm talking to you. But I've been known to do a bit of shopping in my day, just a bit. And so this news is exciting news. And so with that, I turned it over to our also always snappily dressed Mayor Edwin Lee.
Well, thank you, LaShawn. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to Candlestick, to our wonderful Hunters Point and our beautiful southeast sector of the city of San Francisco. You know, as soon as I saw Shaman, I smiled because he's now in the business of carrying out as another elected official promises to our youth, and we're going to work very closely together. And every time I'm here in this community, it is about something that we will work together on, and that is fulfilling promises, whether it's for our youth or whether it's for our former redevelopment commissioners and now OCII members that are all here today, whether it's Citizens Advisory Committee members or former port commissioners that have been in this community for many, many years. When people who are elected in City Hall come back here, we've got to be fulfilling promises. Isn't that right, Dr. Aurelius Walker? Yes, that is. And Amelia Ashley Ward, that's always right. And so we're here today, and I want to make sure that as you leave, I'm looking to make sure none of you carry any of those seats underneath your coats, trying to take these seats out on your own before Kofi gets to them. But this is a wonderful fulfillment, another stage of fulfilling a promise that we made to particularly this community and now to the entire city of San Francisco, that as painstaking as it was to have the Niners leave us on this historic stadium and having Mr. McCartney play the final concert here, we are now ready. We're ready to then start fulfilling the promise of this development with some 12,000 new homes that we're about to see in all parts of this place. Homes, housing, a great promise to people who need that, to make sure that at least a third of them are permanently affordable. Dr. Aurelius, you're part of that whole effort. So is OCII with Tiffany's leadership. We're fulfilling that promise. But there are other promises about to be made that Mr. Brandt and Mr. Bonner and Urban, Lennar and Macerich will do, and that is to have both a redevelopment of this entire area where myself and DPW used to pump the water out of this parking lot on playoff games in order to get everybody in here, that now it starts turning into the development that invites everybody, more resources, people down here, and the real promise that I get to oversee, 50% local hiring of our people here, beginning right here in the Bayview Candlestick area immediately and in the adjacent communities. It's been about jobs. It's always been about jobs and all the projects, whether it's rebuilding of Alice Griffith that Lennar is already involved in, or it's the other projects that we're rebuilding, or it's the new housing that we're putting up. Local hiring is a major part of that principle of how we do it, as well as another promise of 50% at least of small business interaction with this development. This will be a development they all are going to be very, very proud of. And I've already seen some of the wonderful shopping retail sites that Macerich has already been involved in, whether it's as close as Walnut Creek or Santa Monica or as far away of where my daughter's shopping in Queens, New York. They always tell me where they're shopping. This will be a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. It also reflects investor confidence in this part of the city that doesn't get to talk about investor confidence a lot, except now with all the people, with the Citizens Advisory Committee in particular, with residents here, along with people who have worked on this plan for years and years and getting that input, now is when we get the promises starting fulfilled. So I am overjoyed, as you can tell, that we get to work in a community that's been appreciative of this development, have approved of the homes, the retail, the small business, the jobs that are conducted here, and to see this transformation as we are already seeing in the Shipyard, a real transformation with people that are really here, that are lifting their lives up and being part of the transformation, not being a victim of it, but being in a part of it, that they can see their own future and future generations that Shaman is going to be a part of as we educate our kids, saying, first things first. We promise something, we deliver. That's the word that should be always part of our education to the very people that we have gotten together to make that promise. And I am so proud to be a city, a 3 times World Series championship city in 5 years, to also bring those promises to fulfillment in this community. So with that, Sean, thank you for your work on behalf of Lennar. And Lennar, Kofi, I can't thank you enough. Keep coming with all these great announcements, all these investor confident announcements, and we are proud to work with you and on the ground in support. Let's get this job done. Let's get the crews start working here, and don't take any seats with you. Thank you.
You see so many more people as you sit and look out. So I want to take, I'm a little bit taller. I just want to take one more minute to acknowledge there's so many community people that have come to join us to share in this good news with us today. So I wanted to just acknowledge, I see Tracy Ward from Take Wings Foundation and the YMCA. I see DJ Brookter from YCD. I see Tassine Parker, Associate Executive Director from the Y. I see Lola Whittle, and I see Yvonne Dillon. There are so many of you. I could just go around, and so I wanted to acknowledge some more community people. I see Elise Vincent, part of the IC. I see some of our brothers and sisters from ABU are here and have joined us. So with that, I'm going to bring up, as I already acknowledged him, Shaman Walton, newly elected to our San Francisco School Board, but we know him, most of us know him from his work as Executive Director of YCD, and that work has grown and enlarged to include youth training, and so we're excited to have him as a partner and a newly member of the elected body for San Francisco. Shaman Walton.
Thank you so much, LaShawn, Mr. Mayor. Well, good afternoon, everybody. So this is an exciting time for us to be here today. This site, this place, of course, has meant so much to all of us throughout the years. I can remember being a young man living in West Point and living in Potrero Hill and, of course, rooting for our 49ers. And so we have to do something spectacular here to fill that void, of course. And what we're proposing and what's going to be here is actually going to benefit the future of this southeast sector. We know about the great work that's happening on the Shipyard right now. We know about the great work that's going to happen with the rebuild of Alice Griffith. And now we're going to have more and more opportunity here in the southeast sector coming right here at this site in Candlestick. It is very, 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 very important that we understand that the survival of a community is in what? Good schools, affordable housing opportunities, and jobs, jobs, jobs. So we're going to look forward, of course, to the wonderful homes that are going to be built here on this site, but also the retail opportunity that's going to be brought now to the southeast sector in the Bayview Hunters Point community. There's going to be an opportunity for so many of our families to work in their own community, so many of our families to continue to live in our own community. We're talking about internship opportunities. We're talking about jobs, after-school jobs for a lot of our students who are going to school and helping out their families. So those things are vital and important to the survival of a community. We want to be here to thrive in San Francisco. We want to be here to thrive in the Southeast. And developments like this, the opportunity that we're going to have for the future generations, is something that's unmatchable. And again, we're talking about a site where we lost our team, but we gained the future. So I want all of us to continue to be supportive of this endeavor, because at the end of the day, our students, our kids, our families are going to benefit. Thank you.
Well, I know you're saying to yourself, well, what is it exactly that we're talking about? So I'm going to bring up the two gentlemen who will give us the details. The fearless leader of Lennar Urban, Kofi Bonner, and the executive vice president of Macerich Corporation, Randy Brandt.
Again. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kofi Bonner, and this is my partner, Randy Brandt. Randy, is it okay if I say a few things just to set the context and then hand it over? They really don't want to hear from me. They really want to hear from you. No, but I will provide some context. I see shopping in everybody's future. Good quality shopping right here. It's really beautiful. But I did want to take a minute to just reflect on how we got here. Many of you were with us side by side in 2008 when we went out and we went to the city, the whole city, and we proposed to build a master plan community on the Shipyard and here on Candlestick. And at that time, we promised what? We promised jobs, we promised parks, and we promised housing. I am so delighted to say that we have found a partner that can work very closely with us here on the Candlestick site to deliver such an important component of the master plan community over on this Candlestick site. As you well know, on the Shipyard, we began construction on 300 homes earlier in the year, and we actually are almost sold out of our first 88 homes. And Mr. Mayor, you will be very happy to hear that many of them are San Franciscans. Many of them are first-time home buyers, and they're from a wide demographic that really is exciting for us to see. Next year, we'll probably begin another 400 homes over in the Shipyard. Right now, there was some clanging a little earlier, and that was us working in conjunction with the city, developing the infrastructure that will pave the way for the sites that we begin the rebuild of Alice Griffith. So along this election process and through the government entitlement process, we had so many community meetings, and we listened to the community, and we really, really worked closely with many of you are here today. And I want to tell you that we listen every day to the comments, and we try to weave those comments into the future of this master plan community. So Alice Griffith is underway, but what is spectacular is that we will be able to provide this 500,000 square foot retail center right here and integrate it into the delivery of 6,000 residential homes right here, and it will be nestled with parks and open space right adjacent to this beautiful waterfront. And I will tell you that it gives me great delight to announce this historic partnership between two fairly significant giants in the development area, Macerich Corp, despite my stature, Macerich Corporation and Lennar. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to my new partner here to describe just how this retail center will evolve. Randy, thank you.
Chris over here asked us a question earlier. He said, "Are you gamblers?" And I said, "No, we're scientists." But I've had more time to think about it. We're chefs. All the ingredients are here: a great community, a great trade area, great tourism, for the chefs to deliver a meal that you're going to love. That's what we're going to do. We're very excited about partnering with Lennar. They've been great partners. I'm very excited to be here because I was never part of any of the community. It's great to see what a great community that this is. And there's one thing about Macerich, our mantra is that we have over 50 centers across the country. We realize that we're a very important part of the community, and we embrace the communities. Our managers and our marketing directors and our staff become involved in the community. And it's not because we mandate it, it's because it's just in their DNA. So we will become very much a part of the community. But we're excited to build this project and develop this project. You're going to see about 130 stores, a very high-end, all the way down to the Foot Lockers and the Banana Republics and Gaps, et cetera. But you're going to see about 130 stores of a very great mix. We did this in Chicago, right outside of Chicago in Rosemont. And we opened it about 1.5 years ago, and it's been a tremendous success. I know you're going to love it. Thank you very much.
I just want to make sure you're not too shy about, you talked about the low end, but there are some people I see out here who are actually interested in the higher end too.
Well, in Chicago, we have Cucinelli, Gucci, Armani, et cetera. They will all be here. I hope. Thank you.
Thank you very much. LaShawn?
Yes, there are definitely some more people in the house that are interested in shopping, but I won't name them right now, although I'm looking right at them. So I wanted to make a couple of more acknowledgments before I introduce our next speaker. One, Commissioner Al Norman is here. And my biological father is here. So I thank you for being here and teaching me real estate so that I could get to work with all of these wonderful people. Oh, thank you. I wanted to then bring up Dr. Aurelius Walker. As we sit at the foot of Aurelius Walker Drive, as I said, we're sitting at the foot of True Hope Church of God in Christ. Pastor has been the pastor of that church for almost 47 years, as he first started to go door to door to work with men in transition. And so he has a unique perspective on what this retail center and the opportunities here mean for our community. So with that, Dr. Aurelius Walker. I love to say that.
Thank you, LaShawn. To our distinguished and honorable Mayor, Mayor Ed Lee, and to one of the most important persons in this whole sitting today, Mr. Kofi Bonner. And Kofi, today is your day. You have gone through many trials, many difficulties, and I had the privilege of going with you and Lennar, and I'm so excited today until I know what to do. Most people say they're so excited they don't know what to do. For the last 50 years, I've lived in Baby Hunters Point. I've pastored, as you said, thank you, LaShawn, for the last, soon will be 47 years. I have worked in some relationship with the Shipyard and Candlestick Point plan for the last 30-some odd years. And to be here at 83 years old, soon will be 84 next year, to see the coming to pass of the 32% housing we talked about in this project, the unemployment being addressed in a very positive way. I read it in the paper just a few days ago. At one time, unemployment in this community was around 30%. One of the officials, I'm going to call the name, another one said 20. It's down now to about 11%. And to hear the mayor said this particular program, 50% of the employment from this community, from this project, will be going to the people of Bayview, Hunters Point. And my brothers and sisters, as we know, San Francisco is a world-class city. And you cannot have a world-class city without a world-class leadership. And you cannot have a world-class leadership and a world-class community except you have a world-class district like Bayview Hunters Point. What have been obliterated with this, and it's going to be obliterated. In the newspapers, in many instances, you hear people talking about this poor, crime-ridden neighborhood. This particular project have totally already destroyed that because we see so many. And I want to thank God for the gentleman today. And again, let me say, Kofi, thank you very much, sir. And when all the other people abandoned us, a lot of them abandoned us during the downturn, Lennar remained here. They stayed here now with the Mayor Lee, and I had the privilege of working with now 3 mayors. The Honorable Willie Brown, when he was in office as mayor, Gavin Newsom, and now my good friend, Ed Lee, is here. Thank you very much, and I appreciate you being on my turf today.
Thank you, Dr. Walker. And I just see Commissioner Brigitte LeBlanc has just come. Thank you. Our last speaker. I'm looking right at you. Our last speaker, Dr. Veronica Honeycutt. Dr. Honeycutt and I have known each other over a decade. When I was still a school person. And so to be working with her as closely as I do now in this role is fantastic. Whenever I think about how tired I am, I remember that she goes more than I do, and then I just shut up. So I wouldn't want to do this work without her. She is a critic, but also a tireless advocate for the project. And so without further ado, Dr. Veronica Honeycutt.
Shopping? Did someone say shopping? Who will be the first one through this door? Good afternoon to all of you. Thank you so much for being here. On behalf of the Citizens Advisory Committee for the Shipyard, I want to thank the illustrious Mayor Ed Lee and the equally illustrious and wonderful Kofi Bonner of Lennar Urban for their steadfast determination to make sure that the Shipyard project came to fruition. The Shipyard development is providing jobs and housing opportunities to residents of the neighborhood and other individuals in our great city as well. Where there is a stagnant field now, a high-end retail space, as you have heard, housing, a hotel, and additional home and rental opportunities will be built. This new development at Candlestick Park will provide additional businesses and jobs in our neighborhood and the city. It is our hope that local homeowners near Candlestick will benefit from increased home values as a result of this development. Okay. Most importantly, where communities are healthy, the dollars within it circulate 36 to 100 times, sometimes taking a year for that currency to leave the community. Now a dollar leaves the black community here in 15 minutes. Having a greater number of good services and amenities right here in the community will help to turn that around. And that's significant, okay? This is the beginning of a wonderful project in the city. Thank you again, Mayor Ed Lee, and Mr. Kofi Bonner, and this other wonderful gentleman, now that he's told me about, he's got some kind of a shopping mall in New York. When I go to visit my grandson, who is a finance journalist in Manhattan. I'm going to make sure I drop by to see you. It's time for me to drop some dollars there, too. But thank you to all of you for transforming this area to an attractive, prosperous, and lively place to live, to work, and play for all San Franciscans. Thank you very much.
Those of you who didn't grow up in the black church, if you keep wondering why I'm putting my scarf on and taking it off and taking it off, you know how we do. You can't have your legs showing in the front row. So I wanted to just, I didn't forget my home training, my daddy in the audience. So I just want to also, as we close, say thank you to all of the Lennar Urban staff and teams and associates who made today happen. We thank you. We couldn't do it without you. Kofi, did you and Randy have some final thoughts that you wanted to give to the audience?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's a very good thought, and keep it up. It's a great partner. I like this already. First and foremost, thank you, LaShawn. You've been wonderful as usual. Thank you very, very much. I'm always happy to say when I introduce LaShawn that she's of the Bayview, with the Bayview, and from the Bayview. I want to again echo your sentiments about thanking everybody for coming. I would like to apologize for some of those who came a little earlier and there was a little mix-up at the front, but hopefully that was all rectified and anybody who wanted to come could come, because certainly that is the opportunity that we're presenting. The folks who come to the Bayview, be they shoppers or residents, will continue to stay because they'll have so many things to do. They can go to the park, they can go windsurf, they can shop, they can go to True Hope Church. But certainly that is the point. I think certainly Dr. Honeycutt said it very, very well, that we want to create a community that looks and feels and exists in an environment that is so similar and typical to what the rest of San Franciscans enjoy. And we're very cognizant of our responsibility, and we acknowledge that responsibility, and we value the partnership that we have created with this community. So again, I want to thank you all. There'll be several announcements that come out, probably not in as grand a fashion. Now we want to get to the business of actually making this happen. You can hear the work behind us. The mayor wasn't kidding about the seats. We currently are working on abating the asbestos in the Candlestick. Within the next 4 months, I expect to see nothing there but grading and paving going on as we bring the infrastructure and improvements to this site, and we execute on the plan that we're promising. So again, I want to thank everybody, and people said this would be a windy day. What wind? Thank you all again.